Hey guys, welcome to the beach house. So this year I've taken you on an adventure. We got bees from packages and I installed them into these beehives. And then we took a look at them just a few months ago and they're doing really, really well. Well, today you're in for a treat. I'm going to show you the entire process of harvesting honey from start to finish. It's going to be really awesome, so make sure to stay tuned. Woo!
Right here we have some burlap sack.
So just as we've done before, I've got my smoker lit first and I use that to calm the bees while I'm invading their home and taking their honey. So this helps a lot for me to make sure that I don't squish too many bees. You've seen me use this in my other videos. So I want to make sure we have a really good stream of smoke here, and then that's perfect to calm the bees. Okay, that is what a good stream of smoke will look like. Okay, so we'll start by putting a few puffs in the entryway of the hive here. Okay, and we'll add some to the top. They've got that glued shut tight. So the bees use something called bee glue. It's called propolis. And they use it all around the edges right here to keep the hive sealed tightly for the winter. So these guys are getting ready for winter, and so they're sealing everything up real tight. Airtight. So I have my hive tool here to separate the bee boxes so that I can get in and take a look around. Give them a few good puffs of smoke to get them calm, but not too much. See? You can see it's all glued and gummed up, stuck together. Let us take a look and see how well they did this year. The ones on the outside are usually not totally full, so I'm kind of expecting that. But as we get closer to the middle, we're going to see frames of honey completely filled to the brim. Like that. That looks really good. The other side is not quite full or capped. So you can see that the honey in the cells, some of them are capped and some of them are not capped. We want the whole frame to be totally capped off. And if you take a look, right here, all these cells are capped off with honey. And if you look right here, you can see the honey on the inside right there. That's all honey. So this frame on the other side is not all the way capped off, and so for that reason it's not ready to harvest. So I'm going to leave this one here, but I think the next one is ready. If you notice right here, it's not capped, but both sides are almost 100%. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to do what's called a shake test. This will tell me if the moisture level is the perfect level to be able to harvest, because if there's too much moisture, it'll spoil. So if by shaking this frame, if I don't see any squirts of honey come out, then we know it's perfect. Ready? So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3. You see any squirts of honey come out? 1, 2, 3.
Nope.
Just like that. If no honey comes out, that means it's ready to harvest. It's just not quite capped off yet. So this one's good to go. So right now this frame is completely covered with bees. As you can see, I don't want to bring those into the house for harvesting. So I have right here, this is what is called a bee brush. It's a very special brush just for honeybees when you're harvesting honey. So you can't just use any old brush because it's very, very soft and it doesn't hurt the bees, but I can use it to just kind of gently sweep the bees off. And this doesn't hurt them because it's very, very soft bristles. So we'll just use this on both sides to get all the bees off, like that. They don't like this very much, so they're going to fly around a little bit more because of it. But once all the bees are off, then what I have in the house is an empty box that I can fill up with these frames. Right here. So I'll put this box right here, and then that way the bees won't come back on it. And we're just going to keep doing that through the whole box. I'll let you know if I see the queen. Okay, I'm in the second box now. We got 5 really good frames from that top box. I'm looking here in this deeper box with a lot of deeper frames, and if you notice right here, there's a difference in color. This and this are both honey, but this is like spring, early summer honey. This is fall honey. So different flowers make different colors of honey. They have different flavors, but it's all still honey. It's all good. This has pollen on this side. And then this one's all honey. Into the brood chamber, so the queen is still laying eggs. That right there, capped in the center, is not honey. Those are baby bees that are in the pupa stage. So this is the area where the queen resides and lays eggs. And even though it's starting to get fall, she's still quite active. You can see the larva inside of the cells right now. The little white grub looking things. So we're just gonna leave this frame alone. Can you see that little head popping out? That is a brand new adult bee just hatching from its cell after the pupa stage. And so its back is a little bit fuzzy and furry and wet, but that's what they look like as they're hatching from the cells. Do you see her? So that right there is our queen. That is the queen bee. She wants to get down in between the frames, and I'm gonna let her. But there she goes right there. Can you see her abdomen? She's gone.
She's gone. She was very distinguishable.
Oh yeah, I wanted to let her go. My most important thing when I'm looking inside of a hive is that I do not want to hurt the queen. Because if the queen dies, the whole hive will die. And so I do everything in my power to find her and make sure she's safe.
Okay.
Okay, so I've completely looked through this first biggest hive, which had 4 stories. And I'm consolidating them into a smaller space. So it's only going to be 2 boxes instead of 4, which is better for the bees because it's easier for them to keep a smaller space warm all winter than a huge, big box. So I'm just consolidating it right now. It's going to be a little bit crowded for a while, but that's good to help them keep the hive warm. And that's that. So this one's done. Okay, I got 2 more boxes. I'll let you guys know once they're all ready and done so we can get downstairs and start harvesting. Okay, here we are. These are all the frames that we got. A lot of them aren't quite finished, but good enough. And this is all that we got out of all 3 of those colonies of bees. So not a ton of honey this year. And because of that, we're not going to use our spinner. So this right here is what I've used in years past. You put the frames inside and then you spin it and all the honey gets thrown out like that. So here's a little clip of what we've done in the past with the spinner. Once we've got 2 frames in the spinner, we can go ahead and start spinning.
I'm decapitating the honey.
Gone through completely and spun 2 frames already. So you can see the honey there in the bottom. I'm going to open up the drain here and watch the honey flow. This is the fun part. So you can see the honey draining out the bottom, coming out here. Today, because we don't have a ton of frames and a ton of honey, I'm just going to do it manually. This is how I did it in the beginning when I first started beekeeping and whenever I only have a few frames to harvest. So I have a spoon. What I'm going to do is actually take this spoon and I'm going to scoop out the honey just like this from the frame. And I'm going to do it over this bowl. So the honey's gonna go in there, and then it's gonna strain through the holes, and then it's gonna go into the bowl underneath, leaving the wax behind. And this will give us honey, and that we can then put into some mason jars. For all the comb and wax, I only need the stuff that has honey in it, and then I'll just leave the rest. It's very important that any tools that I'm using are dry and clean, because if you get any water or moisture in the honey, then it'll cause the honey to spoil.
All right.
Okay, so now that I'm done scraping off those frames, I've got a few super frames. These are called supers. They're a little more shallow than the deep ones. But these super frames are actually wax foundation. There's no plastic in this at all. So what I'm gonna do is actually push it out from behind, completely destroying all the comb and honey. All you're gonna see behind is a metal wire in the back of it. And so this is all honey and wax, pure honey and wax. And so I'm gonna scrape it all out, and then I have to use my hands to actually break up the cells so that the honey can escape when it's straining. But if you ever wanted to take a bite of honey right off the comb, this would be the time to do it right here. Alright, I'll give you guys a bite.
No.
You don't want to bite, Ellie?
Can you hold it?
Does that look yucky?
Can you hold it for us?
It's not yucky. It's yummy. So now what I'm going to do is take big chunks of this honey and wax that I just grabbed. I'm going to bring it over to the strainer, and then I'm going to kind of just break it up with my fingers and let the honey go outside of the comb, and then I'll set that on the strainer to strain. You got to make sure your hands are clean if you're working on this kind of a project.
Not wet.
And not wet. They have to be clean and dry. So I'll just take another big chunk here and just kind of break it up into this strainer so that it can drain all the honey out. I just grabbed a big chunk of wax right here. Corbin's gonna eat it, the whole thing. You ready?
Yep.
Open your mouth, open wide.
It's good.
Is that like honey flavored gum? You could just chew it, and you can swallow the wax too. Oh, you got honey on your shirt. It's a messy treat.
Charlie, do you want some?
Yeah.
I've been very careful through this whole process.
Mom,
Make sure that I don't spill everywhere.
Charlie, come here. Come here, come here, come here.
Okay, open your mouth. Open wide. Charlie, come closer. Open up. Open wide. Ah!
So cute.
So you can look at this one. It's been straining for a really long time. It's starting to lose a lot of the honey from the top, and then look at that one. You can still see all the honey on top. So this one right here used to look like this one, but all the honey is strained down into the bottom now. And all that's left behind is the wax. This is the last frame, and I'm putting it in to strain. And we've got some really full bowls here. Very, very full of honey. That one actually is the least full, that's why I'm putting it in here. But the other ones are extremely full, to the point where I'm about having to need to putting them into some mason jars. I'm almost done. At this point, we just wait, let it all strain, put it into mason jars, and then that's it. So that's the whole process. I'll let you guys know once we start putting them into mason jars how many jars we actually get. So we've got a bowl here that is completely full of honey. We're gonna put it into this funnel.
Hold this.
So we're gonna fill up some of these mason jars with honey. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh, that looks so cool. Ah!
So hold that up really high, Ryan.
Okay.
High, high, high. Okay, set it down. Okay, now grab the next one. Alright.
This is working, but I bet it's making your arms really sore.
Oh, my arms are fine.
Awesome.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Kiss the tops. I've done this a few times.
We're leaving a trail of honey. You know what this actually reminds me of? Reminds me of the cartoons where they're like trying to get the honey and stuff.
Like Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah, or Donald Duck and bees and stuff. He always has a hard time with it.
What was that?
That's actually Donald Duck with ants in it, I think. This is so weird because I have to think about the back and the front at the same time.
Is it fun doing it?
Fun doing it?
It is fun. I think it's fun anyway.
Yeah.
So here's what you do. So take it out. Take it out of the funnel. Take it out of the jar all the way.
Yeah.
And then do this. Watch.
Oh, fun.
Just like that.
That works.
Thank you.
Okay.
So we've got a few more that we could start.
So it looks like one bowl did roughly 4.5.
But that's the smallest bowl that we've got.
Haha, that's
So
true.
we still have a lot more. And 4.5, that's 2 quarts. I'll leave these straining overnight to make sure that all the honey has a chance to drain. Okay guys, pretty late outside and I've been leaving the honey here dripping all day. I'm actually probably gonna leave it all night long too, just so that way it for sure has a chance to completely strain out all the honey. But look at that, that bowl is completely full. I'm just gonna leave it all night. I've already got a lot of quarts of honey done. I'm really excited. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you got excited about beekeeping. It's an amazing, wonderful thing. And thanks you guys for watching. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Pause the game.
When we were kids, just hanging at the playground when all we